Hi everyone, it's your favorite Hannah from Horror Hour with the Hannas, here to let you know that starting this coming Monday, January 22nd, we will be beginning a new series of episodes called Movie Rec Monday. These episodes will be short, about 10 to 15 minute, spoiler-free chats about a movie that we don't see talked about often enough, but think that you should see. After this week, we will be releasing Movie Rec Monday episodes on the first and third Mondays of the month. But for now, the reason you're here, a review of the new release, Night Swim. Hi, I'm Hannah.
And I'm Hanna.
And this is Horror Hour with the Hannas,
where we talk about all your favorite scary movies.
Today, we are covering our first new release of the podcast, so we will be discussing Night Swim. We just saw Night Swim in theaters 2 days ago, so it is fresh in the mind. And because it is a new release, we are going to avoid spoilers for the first 10-15 minutes of the episode. After that, we're going to announce when we're going to get into some spoiler territory. But hopefully, this chat will kind of let you know if this is something worth seeing or not. Newsflash. Not sure. but yeah, we're excited to get into it.
True, and today we are recording from live from the Lubick Farm Studios out in Chesterfield, New Jersey. So, shout out to Lubick Farms.
Our boy who works for the farm actually just went through surgery, so also wishing you a speedy recovery, my mans. Shout out David, who will be coming on this season to cover a farm or corn-related episode. Anyway, so let's get into Night Swim. It came out this year, this January, and it is a supernatural horror film written and directed by Bryce McGuire. It's based off a short film of the same name that he wrote along with Rod Blackhurst. And that short film came out in 2014, and I think was well received, so that kind of helped him launch his career with his directorial debut with this movie. It stars Wyatt Russell and Carrie Condon, and it was the first film produced under Blumhouse and Atomic Monster once they merged. So they merged January 2nd of this year. So this is the first movie to come out under both since the merger, which is fun.
Did you say that one of the executive producers was James Wan? Did you say that already? That's
Blumhouse and Atomic Monster.
I was just making, yeah.
James Wan is Atomic Monster, Jason Blum is Blumhouse.
Gotcha. Okay.
So their companies have officially merged now.
Understood.
Yeah. So back of the box summary, essentially, is, according to IMDb, it's a woman swimming in her pool at night is terrorized by an evil spirit. The Wikipedia kind of back of the box brief synopsis is, it follows a suburban family who discover that their backyard swimming pool is haunted.
Yeah, and it's as dumb as it sounds.
Yeah, so going in, what were your expectations of this?
I thought it seemed really goofy, but I actually liked the idea of it being just really dumb, and if they could fully commit to, like, the silliness, I thought it could be a fun time. It also has, like, an award-winning or an award-nominated actress.
Yeah, she was up for an Oscar for Banshees of Inisherin.
Yeah, which I liked that movie. And I also like Wyatt Russell. I didn't know he was in it until we got there.
That was what I knew.
This is also the first movie we've seen in theaters for this.
For the podcast?
For the podcast.
Yeah. What an interesting first pick.
Yeah. It's a January release. That's all I can say about it. It's the most January of January releases.
Yeah. I definitely thought going in that it would be goofy. Because, I mean, it's about a fucking haunted pool. So, like, what do you expect going into that? But I also do have this innate fear of pools in the dark. So I was kind of like, all right, like, maybe this will play on this fear that I already fucking have. Like, when I was younger, before we became very poor, when I was, like, younger, though, and we had a pool, I wouldn't swim in the dark. I thought that was really scary. And I, would never want to be in the shadowed section of the pool, because I was like, what's over there in the shadow? So, and I feel like I'm still kind of weird about that. So, Yeah, I thought this was really going to play on my fear that already existed. And I feel like it kind of does, but not as successfully as I would have wanted.
I think the fear it actually hits more than that. I think it's partially that, but it's more for adults, the fear of their children drowning.
Yes, exactly.
Which is like a big thing when it comes to pools, oceans, lakes. It's like a huge cause of death for like young children is drowning. So
yeah, there are a couple scenes with children being out by the pool by themselves. And we don't have kids. Like, we're in our 20s still, but I still like having this panic of like, oh my God, kid, like, you're not supposed to be out there without your mom. Like, you were supposed to wait. Like, she told you to have dad go out with you. Like, what are you doing?
I also grew up with an in-ground pool. And, there were multiple almost drowning incidents, multiple saves.
And that's just the nature of having a
other
pool.
Kids, yeah.
Yeah.
I think it has a fun little premise. There are some, like, good scares in it. Intense moments. And I enjoyed the performances. It looks fine. It looks extremely fine, is what I would say. Yeah. Where it falls apart for me is it's so bland. Like, it has this amazing, not even amazing,
crazy ass concept.
It's this dumb as like let's be honest, it is a dumb as fuck concept. But if you like commit to that, you can really get something fun. And they just like it just falls back on all the same haunted house or possession tropes of every, type of haunted movie. And
but I would say it doesn't even stick the landing of that well, because it's so brief where there's like the possession subplot.
Yeah.
Like nothing really interesting happens there.
It's bland. That's all there is to it. It's not bad. It's not good. It's just...
This is kind of like middle of the road.
It's January.
Yeah.
That's a thing, right? Everything, yeah.
Yeah.
If a studio knows something's not going to do well, it comes out in January. So it's
just like a lot of the award pushes come out in the second half of the year, like near Christmas, especially. I will say some of the scares did get me. I screamed 3 times, like in theaters.
Yeah, there were a couple good. I said there were like a couple of good scares, and that the best scares are the ones when it was playing along with the goofy pool concept.
Mm-hmm. They were all scenes in the pool.
Just commit to that. Like, why did we get scared? And I don't want to blame studio interference, but it does feel that way, where it's like studios get a little nervous when it's a movie about a haunted pool, and you fully go into that. They need to kind of fall back on tropes, but who knows? Maybe it just. Horror is hard, especially long form horror, and like maybe this works very well as a short story, but when you have to make a 90-minute story out of it, it gets a little tougher.
Yeah, I agree. There's just certain things that should stay a short, but those don't make money. So I understand why they would make a feature film. That is true. I would love to know how much money they end up losing.
That's Blumhouse. They make it for cheap. I can't. They'll probably actually make some money. I'm not worried. We don't know. It's too early to say.
Yeah, it is
overseas always there's crazy sales there. So
I will also say that I did hide 4 times.
Yeah, I said there were a couple like fun little fun moments.
Yeah, I was kind of surprised. Like I didn't.
And good monster design, if we could call them like monsters.
I feel like that's kind of spoilery, but
all right, fine. Whatever, we're figuring this out.
Yeah. It's doubled its budget so far.
There you go. See? It's Blumhouse. They make them for really cheap.
$15 million budget. So far, it's made 30. You're welcome.
Yes. That doesn't account for advertising, so it's probably broken even.
Yeah, true. Not that I saw a lot of ads or anything for this.
That's a good point.
I kind of only heard about it because I was looking at horror releases because we have a horror podcast.
Damn.
Yeah, I think this started pretty solid for me, all things considered. There was like a couple corny lines, but I
liked that about it.
I expected some campy writing because it's, again, I cannot reiterate this enough. It's a movie about a haunted pool. No one expected that to be serious. So there were some line readings that I thought were kind of funny because, again,
I laughed.
The script is goofy.
I laughed out loud a lot at and I felt like they intended that. There were like lines delivered where I was like, this has to be to make me laugh. This has to be a joke. Like it made me giggle when I was,
Yeah.
We think the pool is haunted. Like that kind of line.
So that I was cool with, and I thought the scares in the first half maybe first 2/3. I don't know. They got me well enough. Like, they're not things that are going to live with me for forever, but that's great for me because I don't need to have nightmares. And I didn't. I think it's definitely kind of the last third where they're kind of trying to investigate why it's haunted or paranormal. That's where I feel like it gets kind of dumb. It's really the last third that loses me, all things considering that it's a movie about a haunted pool.
Yeah.
So in some ways I was lost the whole time, but
I don't know how much more I can say, non-spoilers. I think we got the gist. It's extremely mid. It's not worth going to the theaters to see it. It's
unless
not
you have
bad,
like a
though.
Discount Tuesday, $5 movie and want to laugh. It's not worth
watch
your time.
it on TV sometime. Even that, I don't think it's a necessary
Oh,
viewing.
it's not
But
a must watch.
you should listen to us make fun of it on this podcast, so stick around for that.
Yeah.
Now that you know you're not going to see it, stick around for spoilers.
And honestly, if you do see it, you'll still have like fun. Like
Again, there are good
I
moments.
had fun.
There are good moments.
I'm not mad I saw it,
Yeah.
but will I watch it again? No.
No, I don't plan to.
Yeah. All right. Do we want to just
Yeah,
go
let's spoiler
full
time.
barrel into it?
Spoilers. Starting now.
Spoiler chat. Okay, we're going to go into our 15-second summaries.
Oh, I already forgot. Okay. Yep.
All right. I can go first. You
Yeah,
ready?
you got it.
Okay. In the wise words of Always Sunny in Philadelphia, do not go near the pool drains. No matter how good you might think they feel on your butt, those things will suck the intestines right out of you.
Yep. That's what I wanted to make mine.
I'm the one who said it in the middle of the movie.
Same.
I leaned over at Matt and I was like, the pool drain. There's an episode of Always Sunny in season 12
right.
where they're at the water park.
I'll give a real one. You got to pull the timer up.
I have a second one actually.
You have a second one? All right, well, I'll do mine.
Yeah, I had a lot of jokes while I was watching the movie that inherently came up. All right, you ready for yours?
Yes.
Whenever you're ready.
I'm ready.
Go.
All right. Recovering MLB player with MS finds a magic pool that heals him, but also the pool is haunted and has to kill one of his sons. So he sacrifices himself to the pool because suicide is badass. And Always Sunny. Another
the wise
Sunny.
words of Frank
from
Reynolds.
It's Always Sunny.
That was a little over 15, but it was worth it to quote Frank Reynolds.
Yeah. Suicide is not badass. But also, trigger warning, there is a character that does, I guess, sacrifice themselves, and I think it's pretty gross in this movie. The same way I thought it was gross in Annabelle. We'll get to it.
I thought Annabelle was
Annabelle's probably
a little
worse.
grosser, but this is not good, and it is equally as unearned.
Yes,
So,
it's extremely unearned.
what is with these fucking movies that involve Blumhouse and or James Wan that have this whack ass shit with suicide?
I don't know.
Out on it.
It's a trope in possession movies that someone needs to sacrifice themselves to save their family, but if it's not played right, it just comes across extremely gross and usually conflicts with the movie's themes in a lot of ways, which happens here. But I'm going to do the plot description.
I have my second brief summary. Ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
It's not the house that's haunted. It's your pool. That was the other thing I kept thinking the whole time.
What? Yeah. Can you tell them where it's from for the
that's an Insidious quote. It's not the house that's haunted, it's your son. Which was our first episode on this podcast.
Go listen to it. I like Insidious better than this, but I also find Insidious falls to a lot of the tropes that I don't like. They both have
an uncomfortable, weird third act.
I agree.
Yeah.
And they both don't, I think, commit to their premise enough.
I wouldn't say that.
We've talked about Insidious. Insidious has some goofy moments, and those are my favorite moments. But same here. The scary and actually goofy moments, I think, elevate this film. And if we could have just gone more into the haunted pool, I'd have been happy. But let me read this real plot description. Let me speed read. You ready?
This is straight from Wikipedia because we did not take notes in the movie.
Also, it's windy outside here at the Lubick Farm studio. So
yeah, sorry if you hear wind or dog or fridge beeping.
We're ready to go. Ready? In 1992, a young girl goes out into her family pool one night to retrieve a toy boat belonging to her terminally ill brother. While trying to get the boat, something in the pool pulls her underwater. In the present day, the Waller family, Ray, Eve, and children Izzy and Elliot, are seeking a new permanent residence after Ray has been forced to retire from his baseball career due to illness. It's MS. They purchased the former residence of the Fuller family, but Ray scratches his hand while working to clear out the pool in the backyard. When the pool maintenance comes to inspect it, they reveal that the pool is essentially self-sustaining, taking its water from an underground spring in the area.
Whoa.
That's some bullshit. I was really sorry to...
That's not how pools work.
That's not how pools work. All right. As he spends more time in the pool as part of the therapy, Ray's illness seems to go into remission. However, Eve becomes concerned at the changes she sees in her husband. Izzy and Elliot each get attacked by something in the pool, and the family cat goes missing. During a pool party, their realtor tells Eve about the Fuller's daughter, Rebecca, drowning in the pool shortly before Ray seemingly forces a child underwater and almost drowns himself, although this is attributed to side effects of his illness. Tracking down the Fuller family after learning that there is a long history of disappearances in the house, Eve meets with Kay, Rebecca's mother. Kay explains that the water that now sustains the pool was once part of a healing spring, but in order to use the water, someone else must be sacrificed to it. Kay was compelled to sacrifice Rebecca to the pool's entity, to heal her son Tommy's illness. Eve is horrified to realize that Ray is now being healed by the pool, but it will take one of the children as a sacrifice. Eve turns to the house to find that Ray is being directly controlled by the entity, which traps Elliot in the pool and attempts to kill Izzy. Eve tries to save her son while Izzy confronts the entity possessing her father, eventually assaulting him with a baseball bat. Eve manages to retrieve an unconscious Elliot and is guided to the surface of the pool by Rebecca's spirit. Once back in the yard, Izzy's assault on Elliot's condition help Ray regain control of himself. To stop the entity from attacking his children, Ray sacrifices himself to it. Deciding to remain in the house so that no one else falls victim to the entity, Eve, Izzy, and Elliot make arrangements for the pool to be filled in to stop such a thing from happening again.
Damn.
Set up for a sequel.
Which
this movie hurts
nobody fucking needs.
It's the water that's haunted is what I really like. It's not actually the pool. It's the spring water that fills the pool. That naturally cleans it.
I think is so dumb. For a while, I was like upset about, so I'm glad this is not what happened. But for a while, I was like, it's the entity of the original child with a disability who lived in the pool.
Yeah,
and
you
that's
were
why
way
his
off base.
toy.
I was like, no.
Well, because his toy kept floating around the pool, and it was like his boat that Rebecca fell in to try and get, and then the boat starts floating around with the new family. So I was like, oh my god, it's him.
It's him. It's the terminally ill child.
And then,
I was like,
I
kept looking at you. I was like, no, it's not.
That's so fucked up. And then Matt was like, that's absolutely not. And I think it started. I don't know if it was a joke or not in my brain, but that's not what it was.
Also, I'm thinking about the theater experience there, because we were talking in the theater because we're bad, but it's like,
there was
people came in 30 minutes late to this 90-minute movie.
Yeah, I was crazy. Like, you missed the entire lead up.
It was really funny, but I don't know, well, you didn't really miss much.
No. Actually, they probably missed the scariest scenes, frankly, but that's their problem.
Yeah, the best scenes were when the night swim scenes. Roll credits, name of the movie. That's the name of the movie. Yeah, this was something. This was definitely something. I don't know what to say about it.
There were certain things, again, that I was like, that was scary, or that was funny, and then there's certain things where I'm like, that is so fucked.
Yeah. So, I'll complain about two dumb things, and then I won't talk about them again. But the two, I don't like to complain with movie logic a lot. Mm-hmm. I like to look and see, maybe there's a reason that we did something like this. You know, there's suspension of disbelief in movie. But there's some things, sometimes you have knowledge of things, and when they are portrayed poorly, they bug the shit out of you. And my two are, pools do not work that way. You cannot have a spring water pool that naturally filters itself. There's a lot of maintenance that goes into a pool. It's a lot of money. It's a pain in the ass. Like, I also worked at a pool as a lifeguard, big pool. So, like, that really bothered me. Whatever. That's a new one for me. But something that bugs the shit out of me, and it happens in every movie, is CPR being performed improperly. Again, I was a lifeguard, Eagle Scout, so I know what CPR. I've done all kinds of training.
I'm also
and it's done in this.
Actively currently.
Yeah, you're CPR trained. So when I see it, like the elbows bent or people pounding the chest or like the wrong pace, like
I love when they punch them. I'm like,
yeah, it's like
you're
punch
doing
them.
Great, sweetie.
She gives 3 compressions at like 40 beats per minute.
Yeah,
or no,
like,
excuse me, not 40. Like 300 beats per minute, and then doesn't even give a breath. Like, it kills me. It is so bad.
Yeah.
The elbow's bent's the worst, though. The elbow's straight, everybody. Elbow's got to be
Hers
locked.
wasn't the worst movie CPR.
I've seen way worse.
Yeah.
But I love to complain about that. It's something that really takes me out of it. And I wish it didn't.
Yeah. I was like, girl, you gotta be going way faster.
Yeah, I was like, come on, Staying
what
Alive.
the fuck?
Sing Staying Alive.
Was she even in the right spot? I don't remember.
Probably. I think it's not like you can tell. But her elbows were bent.
Yeah.
That's the one that bugs me.
It's like, Queen, you are not doing this.
Okay. Now that that's out of the way, let's actually talk about this movie. General thoughts. We kind of got. I don't like it. It's fine. I don't hate it. I don't like it.
I would watch it again for a laugh.
It'd be funny to like make somebody else watch it and tell them it's really good.
I did that recently in Universal. Shout out to the Fast and Furious ride. I tried to tell one of my friends it was a really good ride.
And Universal in Florida.
And then after, they were like, what the fuck?
It's awful. It's the worst ride there.
Yeah, there's never any line for it because it's bad. But
if you want a good laugh, go on the Universal subreddit and look up the Fast and Furious Supercharged ride and see what people have to say about it, because we had a good time.
The thread I saw recently was so funny. It was like, why the fuck does this ride exist? They basically stole half the technology from another version of it that was somewhere else. Gotcha. Or like a show of it that was somewhere else. So that's why they made it for like less expensive than you would maybe think it was worth. Yeah, it's worth nothing.
Maybe one of the worst rides I've ever been on.
The King Kong ride uses the same technology and is actually good. So shout out to that. Horror Jason. Right. Anyway.
Let's go, yeah.
It was relevant because it's that scary to me that it got made. This movie has similar vibes to the Fast and Furious ride at times, but
yes.
Family. No, I thought Wyatt Russell was good. I feel like he doesn't have a great picker. He's been in some like things that I'm like,
he was good.
He did good, but like
he's got a bad agent. Fire your agent, bro.
Yeah.
You're talented.
Like the Falcon and Winter Soldier show.
He was good. Yeah, he was good.
But like the show is
honestly, I can't believe I watched that looking back.
Yeah. It was not worth my time. Don't do it.
Yeah.
And if you like it, you're wrong.
Really, any of the Marvel shows at this point have
Loki
really
was fine.
You didn't even watch season 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It wasn't good. Yeah, exactly. All right.
But
we gotta pad the runtime. We don't have enough to say.
It's fine. I thought he was good. I think they just like didn't give him enough to work with. Like I feel like he's more talented than he gets work for. Like the script just doesn't allow him to like act that much, I guess. So when he was possessed for like the 4 seconds that happened
by some black goop in the pool.
Yeah.
It went into his mouth and possessed him.
The pool slime. Yeah, when he was possessed, I was like, yes! And then that just...
Really? Oh, instantly I was done.
No, not for the plot.
Oh, for him.
But for him, I was like, yes, Wyatt, give it to me. And I want to say...
Phrasing.
Not like that. But
Pause.
This episode is nonsense. I was so excited to record this for this very reason. But yeah, like for performance-wise, I was like, you go, boy. And there is like one part of the scene where he like kind of like shows up in a hallway and it's all dark and he's just kind of lurking there with his daughter who's like bleeding. And he looked really scary and he was acting harder than anyone else. But other than that, I was like, you didn't give this man enough.
No. I'll say the other best part about this is any of the scenes in the pool with there's like these weird entity, like bloated creatures that are the spirits that have drowned.
Were scary.
And that was what made Hannah hide and scream because she had a couple. Made me hide or even like yelp. There were some really good, well-crafted scares. Well, I think I had like 1 or 2.
Damn.
Yeah, but there were few and far between. But there was some that was good. Again, the haunted pool and the weird black entities because they were like goopy, bloated like ghosts in the water, and the pool like is deeper than it seems because it goes in like another world. You know, like a spiral. I like that.
Oh, the pool being connected to another like world thing it's giving Insidious the scene even further. That's why I think it's dumb.
What I thought of it was more similar to the bathtub scene in A Nightmare on Elm Street where she gets pulled through like the hole. And that's like that plays into your fear of the pool being like you don't know what in the dark how deep it is or where it goes, and that I like that.
No, that's not the vibe.
Doesn't work for you?
All
right. Well, each their own.
I did like all of the in like the first half 2/3 of the movie, all of the scenes of them swimming in the pool. I did find those fun.
They did some good camera stuff, you know, with underwater shots.
Yeah, I liked the underwater shots. I liked like the sounds of the splashing and the I will say this movie, I feel like it's hard to tell when you go see a movie in theaters, but I think it would be really hard to see most of this movie if you watched it during the day.
Greg, I don't remember having too many problems with the lighting, but
we were in a theater in the dark.
But you can still kind of tell how it's constructed. But you might be right. I don't know.
I think it would be hard to see during the day.
You know, I mean, I have my war on bad lighting in movies. It's in TV shows. We're watching that stupid Percy Jackson show. Not stupid. I like it. But they can't light that show either.
Yeah.
Like, it's frustrating.
It's like, y'all need to know better than this.
You got to spend time. There's a lot of pre-production that goes into lighting. It's okay to not have unnatural lighting because there's suspension of disbelief, all right? I'm going to rant about this every episode. It's important.
You go.
Somebody in the industry's got to hear me. Let's light shots better again, especially night shots.
Yeah.
Okay. What do I want to say bad about this that I haven't said already? It's boring. It's not even boring. It's just bland. It's white Wonder Bread. Like, it's just nothing that entertaining, and anything that is entertaining, they just like walk back and then turn it into this possession movie with dad running around with possessed black goop in him.
Truly, we did not need the possession storyline.
Agreed.
It would have been so much more interesting if there wasn't this spring water possession pool thing.
There was just a goddamn haunted pool. Just give me a haunted pool.
Yeah, I don't care why it's
That's
haunted.
all I wanted.
Just not this.
I mean, I do care why, but yeah, it's like...
Not this, though.
So, do you want to... What else? Can we talk about some themes when it goes along with this, or is there anything else?
I think we should do themes because I think the themes are very related to what I didn't like about it.
Yes, I agree. But I also think that this movie does not have a solid single theme that like doesn't conflict with another one. So you want me to go first and talk about the first one I saw?
I mean, I know the first one you're going to say is, again, in the words of Frank Reynolds, suicide is badass.
No, that wasn't the first one.
Oh, shit.
No, my first theme... Yeah? What?
My issue specifically with the suicide is badass is that it's the dad with a disability.
Yeah, he's got MS.
Who has to die, and it's unearned, besides the fact that he's like, life is harder because I have MS now. And the whole, basically, like, the pool is healing him because he's sick and has to take someone else. It's like a trade-off thing.
Yeah.
But it's like the pool's healing his MS. But other than that, like, if he's not going to be healed, he might as well die.
That's kind of what it says, yeah. No, I read it, and then about halfway through was like, maybe it's not this way, as that the pool was like a drug addiction, because it was like, it was healing him, right? It was like making him feel better, but also harming them at the same time. So remember at one point I was like, oh my God, is that the theme we're going for here?
There was one scene that really
felt that way.
And then after that, it
just kind of like went away. And then it kind of came down to like, is it worth living with chronic illness?
Literally.
And I was like, what's this movie trying to say? Like,
yeah, it's literally saying, like,
if you has MS, you should kill yourself. Like, that's like the message I walked away with.
I mean, truly. And I was so...
Which is disgusting. Yeah. Also, the son hadn't hit puberty yet, so like he wasn't good at sports. So there was a part where dad was like, and possessed dad was like, it'll be easy, but life is too hard for him. He should die.
Yeah, I was like, if your kid hasn't hit puberty, life isn't worth living currently.
That's what like drives me nuts about these sacrifice stories, especially when they're unearned, is they just come across like this.
I think that one is pretty obvious that's not cool. Like, I think even the film kind of says, all right, you can't just kill your son because he hasn't got through puberty yet. But I think the film is genuine in that the sacrifice is best from Wyatt Russell. And I understand, in general, a parent having a sacrifice for their child. That's like a common, like, parenthood themes. You do anything for your child. But I think it being the parent with the disability or, chronic illness, who was using the pool to heal his chronic illness, that's where the problem is. Like, if it were mom, we'd be like, okay, still not great, but, like, better.
But the pool didn't end up actually healing anybody. That's the thing. He should have chosen MS and chosen to not be able to play in the MLB again to save his family, which makes it this family story. Because, right, it's very clear that they make it intentional that playing baseball has, like, fucked up his family life. Yeah. Or they try to make that clear. So why have it that he has to die? Instead, have him, while possessed and happy about, like, healing, choose to his family over his, like, health or his baseball career.
I would say the movie is arguing that he does choose that, right? He is choosing his family. He could just kill his son and then be good at sport and go back to sports, but he would lose his family, obviously. I think in this regard, he's like, no, I want my family to be okay. So fuck me, I'll die. But again, it just doesn't work.
But I'm saying it would hit harder if he were to give up baseball and be like, I'm going to just live out my time even with this chronic illness. And that, it's okay if nobody dies in your horror movie. You can still be scary. And that actually would have been a nice story. I would have been happy. It's like, But
Matt, the pool was angry. The pool needed. Oh, I burped. Sorry. The pool needed to take someone.
No, the pool only needs to take if it heals. It didn't heal anybody.
The pool was already feeling.
Because he could have given up his healing, and then it wouldn't have to take anybody.
The pool was already frisky, man.
Oh my god. It's so... Also, it's even worse because all the spirits that it's taken are just living in a limbo in the pool. So it's not like he just gets to die.
No,
like, his spirit is just there for eternity. Like, whatever that means. It's dark and not in a good way.
Yeah, he just gets to swim in a pool with
a bunch of other ghosties and Rebecca.
Poor Rebecca.
Also, Rebecca was like not a bad entity, but all the other ones are. Whatever. Again, I don't want to argue with the movie logic. I won't even go there.
Maybe the longer you're there, the more bad you become.
Yeah.
Who's to say? Well, I have another theme.
All right, hit me with it.
The theme is boys are better than girls.
Oh, okay.
Because the mother of Rebecca and whoever her son's name was, Elliot, who had a disability that was healed by the pool, Rebecca basically says, like...
Oh, I had that wrong. I'm sorry. It wasn't Elliot. Elliot was the other son.
No. Yeah, no.
Don't just ignore me. The son, Rebecca, the terminally ill child.
Yes.
Okay.
And the mom is like, we chose him. Like, Rebecca, we don't give a shit. Like, we let the pool take Rebecca.
And now he's an ambassador.
Yeah,
she lives in a big mansion, so she made the right choice.
Yeah, she was like, he's so successful. Fuck Rebecca. Like, we don't give a shit. That was giving we like our male child more, which was really uncomfortable. Specifically, that they cast.
I said this to you when we were in the car on the way out. I was like, "Did you find it weird that
they cast an Asian family?"
Yeah, I was like the family that decides that the girl should die and the boy should live was an Asian family.
Yeah,
and you immediately were like, "Oh my god!"
Yeah.
And I was like, "Yeah, it was pretty gross, right?"
It's especially sinister given the one-child policy in China,
and just the cultural
led to a lot of people to abort or abandon their female children.
Yeah. I want to believe that was just a coincidence that it was an Asian family.
I would love to believe that. I would love to believe that.
I don't know if it was.
But I don't know if we can.
Yeah. It was pretty gross.
Like, if you
it made me laugh, though.
If you want representation in your film, that's not where to put it.
Yeah.
That's
some J.K. Rowling, Shacklebolt or Cho Chang racism in your film.
Yeah, so hated that.
Yeah,
and I just don't know how that... You could argue that for this family. They were like, this kid's a little too...
He's a little undersized, he hasn't hit puberty. He's not really good at baseball.
He's a little feminine. Although, he's not good at the boy things, so fuck him.
Yeah, but that was also Possessed Dad, who is a bad entity, saying it.
I'm still saying it, bro.
Okay, all right.
That's what the film's telling me.
No, but the film is saying that's the wrong outlook for that, right? I think the film's point is that it's the wrong outlook to go that route.
I know, but it was still just this uncomfortable thing that I didn't like or need. So I felt
no, but you know what I mean, though? Like, it's like we have to acknowledge that it's the bad guy saying this, so we're not supposed to agree with it. And that's the same when it comes to the first family. Yeah. Is like, you're not supposed to agree with it. However, the choice of the casting department to choose an Asian family for it is where I feel a little bit weird about it. That they were the family to go, we're going to decide that we think they're that family decides. We think that the daughter, let her go,
Yeah. Pretty fucked.
We might be overthinking, but that's what we do because it's fun.
Yeah. I was shocked.
Yeah. We got any other themes? It's like there's not much to say. There's not many themes. The movie is a little freaky at times. It's a little fun at times. I just wish it committed to the goofiness. Be a haunted pool. That'd have been so fun.
I mean, it is a haunted pool.
All right, just go full on. Every horror scene in the water. Like, I don't know. I also was interested in the dad's baseball thing, where he was like trying to come back from it
and
and was being healed.
Was cool.
Yeah.
I didn't see that coming.
It kind of had
like, damn, sir.
Yeah, he's like trying to come back from MS, and that's a horrible illness. That's a real fear.
I really thought that they could do something really well with that and be inspiring with it.
Yeah.
And they chose to go the opposite direction.
Very much so.
That's what,
yeah.
We just covered Split, and it's just so important that when you're representing, like, some sort of disability, mental health, physical health, it's so important that you're representing characters and these disorders in the proper way that isn't stigmatizing or problematic. And these films are just like, meh, I'll give a fuck.
This one really does say if you have chronic illness, you should just die. I don't know how you can read it any other way.
I literally don't. Like, I'm sitting here trying to think of other themes that I, like, didn't jot down. Because all I jotted down was suicide is badass and boys are better than girls. I literally can't think of anything else to say.
The point is that they weren't actually trying to say it.
No, I know.
They just have no themes.
I'm aware.
No,
yes.
But we are like, how can you not read it that way if you're trying to do a thematic analysis? And it is art, so it makes sense to try to do a thematic analysis. So, like, yeah.
Maybe the theme is just that we shouldn't have pools.
Wrong. I love swimming.
I mean, part of the theme is, like, watch your kids when they go for a swim.
Sure. Good lesson. Or teach your kids to swim. Do that thing where you toss them in as, like, 6-month-year-olds.
6-month-year-olds?
6 months. Yeah, 6 months. Yes, correct. That's how you say that. 0.5-year-olds. Let them float around, you know. Get those kids. Water's scary. But no, water, you gotta respect water.
Evolutionarily, babies can float for the first 6 months because they need to be able to float if, like, a predator came or, like, in the wild.
It's awesome.
Something bad happened.
Toss your babies into pools.
And then after 6 months, they kind of lose that if you're not practicing it.
Mm-hmm.
Fun fact. Yeah, watch your kids when they go in the pool, even if your kid knows how to swim. And if you're in a pool and someone is throwing coins to you in the pool, and then you look up and your dad's not there, and then you go back underwater and there's more coins being thrown into the pool, maybe you should question what the fuck is going on, child. Because that also happened. Fucking Elliot. He was so cute, though, so I can't really blame him for anything.
Pools are scary.
I thought the kids were good.
Again, the performances were fine. Everything, it was the most serviceably fine movie. I was like, you know what? While watching, I was like, we finally watched like a solid like 5 out of 10 movie. Cool. 5 out of 10. And then the whole dad commits or, sacrifices himself. And I was immediately taken out and really annoyed.
Yeah.
And it didn't seem like anybody in the theater really enjoyed the movie. There were some giggles. There were a lot of people just being stupid and messing around, a bunch of dumb kids in the theater. That's what you got to expect. I got nothing else to say on this. You want to rate it?
Did you have any scenes you liked?
Oh, I forgot we didn't do favorite scenes. Favorite scene is probably one of the scenes where... Oh, I know. When he's talking to the filter. Why is there a filter? This is a natural spring pool. He's talking to like where the water goes in. Oh my God,
you're so right.
And there was a girl back there looking for a mom. It was Rebecca, and was talking to him, and it was very much like Pennywise and Georgie in it, and like reaches out and grabs him, and was the character design or the monster design of her was very scary.
That was one of my
favorite scenes.
I thought it was especially scary because when his like toy's in the pool filter, and when he reaches in to get the toy, he just grabs a bunch of hair.
Oh my God, I forgot about that. Yeah.
That was what got
nightmare
me.
Stuff.
It was before even that. I think I hid like twice.
That's like,
because the hair was gross. And then when I finally looked, there was the face. And I was like, fuck no. Mine that I thought was really scary was when they were like, all of the pool scenes, frankly, I kind of liked. But specifically, I think when Mom was swimming and she like looked up and thought, Dad, whatever the fuck his name was, Russell, when she thought he was there, and then she like popped her head up and there was no one there. That just kind of fear really gets me because I do that with mice all the time. I think I see mice out of the corner of my eye because I'm really afraid of them. So any shadow I see ever in my life is a mouse. So I was like, wow, that'd be really scary if you thought it was a person in your yard. Also, like when he's in the pool and he's like, I saw Rebecca, and then he goes to Mom, like, that fear is like a parent being like, who the fuck is in my yard fucking with my kid? That's horrifying.
Yeah, I agree.
So I thought that was
Unfortunately,
scary.
it's few and far between that you have scenes like that, and just doesn't really commit to anything. I said it goes bland. It just goes right into the classic haunted house trope set forth by every other possession and haunted house movie there's ever been.
Mm-hmm.
All right, anything else you want to say?
No.
All right, let's rate it. I have mine.
4.7.
You giving it a 4.7 out of 10?
Yeah, at first I was like, I could give this like a 5.5. And then the last third lost me.
Yeah, I felt the same way. It's getting a 4 for me, which is good. We finally have a 4. That's our first 4 ranking.
Yeah,
we've only had we've had 3 and below and 6 and up, nothing in between. So
yeah, feeling great.
Hell yeah,
Feeling
4 out
great.
of 10, baby. It's a January movie.
Yep.
It
is what it is. We got what we expected to get, frankly. So I'm not mad about it.
Yeah.
It was a good time.
If you have MS,
don't watch this movie.
Don't watch this movie.
They're incorrect.
Yes, that's what I was going to say. So you deserve to live your life and be happy with your family and not sacrifice yourself to a pool entity.
Yeah. Truly fucked.
Yeah.
All right.
Contrary to what Frank said, suicide is not badass.
I'm just not even going to touch on this anymore.
All right. I'm Matt, Hannah.
I'm Hannah.
This is Horror Hour with the Hannahs.
Thanks for listening.
Bye. Don't go swimming in the dark.
Thank you for listening to Horror Hour with the Hannas. Make sure to listen to future episodes on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, iHeartRadio, or wherever you can find podcasts. You can follow us at Horror Hour with the Hannas on TikTok and Instagram for more content. If you like the podcast, please follow and leave a review on your favorite podcasting app. Happy hauntings!